Welcome back to another episode of Trash Talk Podcast. Hope you all have recovered from the grand 100 last week. If you have, for some reason, not yet known or seen that podcast and know what happened there, go check it out. It was crazy. It wasn't that crazy, but it was very, very interesting, and there was a surprise there, just as there was in 99.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of concluded the TrashcanTV World Tour.
Yeah, exactly. But spoilers ahead, because we're gonna, if you haven't seen it, go watch it first. Spoilers ahead. You've already seen it, hopefully, during this week, that Sergey started playing Life is Strange on the channel, and then we're gonna play the entire game with him. Then we're gonna talk about the entire game with him. We're gonna have him on podcast 105 again, bring him back, the Russian guy, into the studios, recap the game, and after that we're gonna play the next game. We're gonna play Before the Storm with him too on a weekly basis. So if you like to see Russian people play American, teenagers, then you're
in a game that was created by French people.
By French people, exactly. then you're correct on TrashcanTV. And also we're gonna have more collabs with the Trash Talkers because people liked it a lot. That's the other Trash Talkers, the fake Trash Talkers, the second Trash Talkers. I didn't say that, Hollywood. I didn't mean it. But we're gonna have more collabs with these guys, hopefully, if they're interested in it.
We've had in 2 episodes of the Trash Talk podcast people from 3 different continents.
It was crazy. It was insane. Yeah, and in 3 back-to-back episodes. In 2 back-to-back episodes.
Yeah.
It was, wow, it's insane. TrashcanTV going international. When's the merch coming out? It's crazy. But today, just JJ, just myself, having some good old Hearthstone quiz fun. And we're also going to talk about, Life is Strange, because the Life is Strange 2, the newest game, the episode 3 has been released. We did play it a couple weeks ago, and we're going to talk about that.
I mean, as you all know, that has been out before Podcast 100. As a matter of fact, before 99, but because of the specials, we kind of had to
we had to push
the discussion a bit back.
So now we're doing it today, and I have an opinion on that. But the first thing is something that JJ wanted to do for a while, and can you explain what that is?
So, I kind of shot myself in the foot there, but the idea is that I'm supposed to guess cards based on their flavor text.
Yep.
Because...
Hearthstone cards.
Yeah, I guess I should have said that. Because I play Hearthstone with the deck tracker, as is pretty much known, I think, by now. And then also, whenever you hover over a card, shows you the flavor text. Mm-hmm. I also, every now and again, used to go, especially back in the day, to the collection, look at some descriptions here and there. Yeah. So, I should know a lot of the cards by flavor text. I probably won't know most of the ones that you're going to ask me, but I'm going to try anyways.
What I did is I looked for the best ones, and I'm on a Hearthstone forum site. And so I'm just going to use some of the ones that I find here.
Yeah. And also some should be kind of guessable by context, because oftentimes they do reference something about the card itself. So I think this should be doable to some degree.
Exactly. So let's just get into the first one. This is one that I personally, I do quite like, and one of the first ones that I've seen. Arthas.
Wait. I thought we were doing this the other way around. You're giving me the flavor text and I...
Is that a misunderstanding? I thought we were doing the other way.
Well, no, No?
Okay. But
I can't do that.
You want to take a guess for Arthas?
The problem is, I don't know a lot of flavor text, like, just from the top of my head. That's going to be too hard.
Okay, fair enough.
Isn't it just like there must always be a Lich King?
There must always be a Lick King.
Oh.
Because he's a dog.
Right, yeah.
I thought we were doing it that way. Okay.
I feel like that way is way harder.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Because, for example, okay, I'm going to give one, but obviously I'm not going to use it. The one for Fell Reaver is Much Fell, So Reaver. If I told you that, it would be obvious what card it is, right?
Yeah,
so I can't use those ones.
No, obviously, the ones that have the name in it are a bit out of there, but
fair enough.
A lot of them I just know.
Okay, so the next one, I'm going to give the flavor text, you guess the card. So the flavor text is, I hope you didn't disenchant your shadow word horror. Horror.
I hope you didn't disenchant your shadow word horror. I honestly don't know, but I'm just going to guess maybe... I mean, the one that would make most sense, mechanically speaking, would be Giggling Inventor, but I don't think it is that.
It is Pint-Sized Potion.
Oh, that also makes sense.
Because it works with Shadow.
Yeah, I was thinking Giggling Inventor because it would be the perfect count because it kills all 3, but yeah.
Exactly.
I thought it was different, yeah. She has something about building your own entrance, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. But like an army of... it's something... I will greet the world or something.
Yeah.
I will... Yeah, that thing. Did I ever tell you the story of when I single-handedly took down a 29-29 Cthulhu, Reno Jackson? As a quote.
Okay, when I single-handedly took down a 29-29 Cthulhu... It's probably a poisonous minion, but I honestly don't know.
Want to take a guess? Chuck up a prayer?
Stubborn Gastropod?
It's Blackguard.
Oh.
Blackguard.
Yeah.
Because he heals him for like 29, and then Blackguard deals that damage to the Cthulhu.
That's why Reno That's so clever.
Yeah. It's fine. So, let's see. The next flavor text is... That was it.
Is it silence?
Nope.
No. It's something along those lines.
Try again.
Wait, does the mute also have a card that's kind of similar? You know the boss from Witchwood?
Yeah.
Isn't there a card like that as well?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
Just
It's Vanish.
Oh.
It's Vanished. It doesn't have a flavor text. It's just blank. Okay.
I thought it was like ... or something.
No, it's just absolutely nothing. So,
okay, yeah.
how about this one? Hey, ancestors.
Ancestral Call?
Ancestors Call.
Ancestors Call, fair enough.
Yep. Okay, next one is Flash. Ah.
Flash Heal?
Flash Heal, yeah. Got it. Let's see what else we have. So, you say you want an evolution? Well, you know, we all want to change the board.
There's like about 3 cards this could be. I'm just gonna guess it's maybe Evolution?
It's Evolve.
Evolve, sorry.
That's what it meant, right? Yeah.
It could have either been Evolve, Unstable Evolution, or Master of Evolution. Mm-hmm. But Evolve is the only one that changes the entire board.
Evolve definitely did make sense, correct. How about this one? She hangs out in all the tombs, but she rarely posts. This one is also fine. I like it.
Is it like Elise? I don't know.
No, it's a pun. I'll give you that hint.
I mean, I kind of assumed so, but... I honestly don't know. I should probably know this, but...
It's Tomb Lurker. Lurks but barely posts. Yeah. You know? You read it.
The only Tomb card that came to mind was Tomb Pillager, which I'm pretty sure was a dude, first of all, and second of all, it doesn't really make sense with
Tomb Lurker.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I like Hearthstone flavor text.
Yeah. Some of them are really good.
Most of it's really good. The problem is some of the classic cards have kind of lackluster flavor text because back then they weren't so hard into the humor.
Yep.
So a lot of it was literally just like lore explanation and stuff. Exactly. There were still some funny ones in there, but they switched over to exclusively funny ones.
But afterwards, they just took the piss. Like, for example, It Is Wednesday, my dudes.
It's Spirit of the Frog.
It's Spirit of the Frog, and
I knew that.
My favorite one in the game, obviously. Best meme ever. It's a fun fact that frog is an emoji, a custom emoji in our TrashcanTV Discord server. I made it one myself because I like it so much. So if you're in the Discord server, you can use that frog along with a couple other ones that I also put in there. How about this one? The message, "If found, please return to Mulgore," is tattooed on his rear.
If found, return to Mulgore?
M-U-L Gore.
Mulgore. That's got to be some kind of ogre that's being returned to. The question is, what would an ogre just kind of throw around? And I don't know. I assume that it was going to be my answer most of the time, anyways. But
it's Lost Tall Strider.
Oh,
it's lost. You know.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Marvel at his might.
Is it the Mighty Millhouse Manosaur?
Oh.
I didn't. Marvel at his. Oh, just tell me.
Dr. Boom.
Okay.
Dr. Boom.
Why would I know the original Dr. Boom's flavor text?
Very, I'm about to say, you're one person who should definitely know it. Okay, I think
flavor text wise, it's probably mostly cards that have been in the game for like the last 2 or 3 years because that's when I really started using the tracker and playing more as well. And then cards like Blackguard that didn't see any play, you still wouldn't know most of the time.
So, how about this one? It is true that some druids are savage, but others still enjoy a quiet moment and a spot of tea.
Now, with the reference to druid, I'm just going to assume it's a druid card.
Yeah.
With the word savage, it would make sense if it was... There's a few ones that it could, in theory, be. It could be something like Savage Striker, which I'm not even sure if that depicts a druid in and of itself.
I'm not sure. It's one of the...
It could just be Savage Roar.
It's one of the Rastakhan's Arena things. Guys. The Savage Striker, I mean. I'm not sure if that's a druid. It's... you want to take a guess? You want to final answer or something?
It's probably one of the druids that transforms into dudes. I'm not sure. Just tell me.
It's a savagery.
Oh, it's savagery.
Just savagery.
Fair enough.
Yep. And close it off with one more. And this one also is one that you should know and one that you also like a lot because you've mentioned it sometimes. And it's not even true anymore, but it has double the attack.
It's the red mana worm.
Yep, it has double the attack. You want to continue?
What is it? It's double the health and it double the effect and it costs 5 times as much.
And it costs what? 5 times as much, which it does not.
It costs 2.5 times as much.
Because the mana.
All that I am, anger, cruelty, hate, 8 attack, I bestow upon you.
And that is that's the Lich King.
Yeah, that's the Lich King.
That one I could have gotten. Now I'm generally not very good with flavor text because anytime I just see them, it's in like the collection when I happen to be browsing the collection.
I mean, I'm not great at them either. I was expecting to be a bit better at this, but I wasn't expecting to be great at it.
Because I don't really first of all, I don't use the same deck tracker as you. I use the one with less stuff, right? Because
I've never
it just distracts me a lot. I don't like it.
Interestingly enough, I've never been one of those people that has been bothered by too much UI. People always complain like, oh yeah, too many hot elements, stuff like that. I've never had a problem with that at all. I actually prefer it sometimes. Like I like having a lot of information on the screen because like as long as they don't like clutter up the center of the screen, it's fine.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I'm gonna give you one final one though, and this is one that I personally like a lot. Before he became a rap artist. Last one.
Right, Primordial Drake.
Primordial Drake.
That one's pretty good, yeah.
That is really good. I like that.
It took me a second, but yeah, I knew that. Yeah. That's one I knew. Like, I think the Angora ones I would probably know more of like Angora and Frozen Throne than most other sets. Because
you've only started using the tracker around that time. Right?
I think it was also when I was literally like just playing a lot while using the tracker. And then not doing anything simultaneously, so whenever nothing was happening, I would just look at all the flavor text.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that era, like those two sets in particular, and maybe like Kobolds as well,
and Frozen Throne
would be ones where I would know more than for other sets.
I like
and probably Classic. But
I really like There Must Always Be a Lich King.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. I like that one. So that's the Hearthstone flavor text quiz. So do you think you could do better than JJ? If so,
I mean, I would hope that a lot of people could, yeah.
Someone could. I definitely could not because I don't look at flavor text for the most part. I can only get like the really classic ones, the obvious ones. Spirit of the Frog being one of them, which is absolutely my favorite of all time. But there has been funnier ones in the recent expansions. There's always been some good ones, so I'm looking forward to future ones for sure.
I think the Aviana flavor text are also pretty good. I think one of them was call her Tweety, I dare you. And I think the Dustfall Aviana was someone called her Tweety. Yeah,
exactly. You're right. There's continuity there. That's true. So that's pretty good. I wonder if there's continuity in the Dr. Boom ones. You know the Mad Genius and Blastmaster ones too?
No.
I don't.
I think the at least Trailblazer also makes a reference to her having changed. I'm not sure if the original one has anything to do with it. There's also a lot of other cool ones like hello, is Doom there? For the Doom caller.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. that one I also have seen.
I spell your doom.
Yep.
YOURDOOM.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good.
There's good one. There's good ones there. Let us know what you want.
What is Cthulhu's least favorite spell?
Eye for an eye.
Yes.
Obviously, that one is easy.
That's also a flavor text.
Yeah, that one is easy. I know.
Cthulhu's least favorite Hearthstone card, Eye for an Eye.
Because he has one huge eye, and that's all he has, basically, for the most part. So, let us know what your favorite flavor text is in the comments, or join our Discord. Let us know there. Talk to us privately if you want to do that.
He's working out. He puts all that. Where was it? He puts all that hate into a ponytail.
Which one is it?
Is it hate? What is it? Yasharaj.
Okay.
What is it?
Rage? Or Rage,
right.
Because
Rage.
Rage Unbound, and when he
Yeah.
works out, he puts a ponytail. Yeah, obviously. Because that's
the old gods have really good flavor
yeah,
text.
they do. That's a pun. That's true. So let's get into the halftime show, though. We have another round of the letter quizzes, and we have D, E, and F today, and we're hoping to do a little bit better. You can see them on the screen, by the way.
As in short for definitely, yeah.
Shut up. So we have them on the screen this time. So this is the first time you get to see us actually doing the questions. So first one is a Beaver's construction program, which is a dam, and JJ was correct. You want to talk about dam?
Yeah, damn.
As a damn, son. Pickle flavoring herb is dill.
Oh, I did not know that.
Like, dill pickle. Dull child with a conical hat.
Oh, a dunce.
That's a dunce. Singular of data.
That's datum.
Datum,
right.
correct. Yeah. Smelly fruit of Southeast Asia.
As if I knew that.
It's a durian.
A what?
A durian. D-U-R. Yeah, exactly. Durian. City with an elevation of 5,280 feet. A.K.A. the Mile High City. Which every person ever knows.
I've heard that. I definitely heard that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Should I give you a hint? It's Rocky Mountain High.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Denver, Colorado.
Baby eating animal of the Australian outback.
Probably any given animal of the Australian outback.
Dingo.
Okay.
Dingo ate my baby. Judi Dench's rank. Dam, right? D-A-M-E.
But Dame?
Yeah. Oh, Dame. Yeah, like Dame Lillard. Looney Tunes duck. You know all of them?
Wait. Darkwing Duck is not from the Looney Tunes. That's a separate cartoon. What the fuck's sake?
I think it's Daffy.
Daffy Duck. Oh.
Daffy Duck. Yeah.
How do you spell that?
D-A-F-F-Y.
Daffy. Okay.
Yeah. Celtic priest is a druid.
Yes.
Capital of Senegal is Dakar. D-A-K-A-R. Yep. 2 in French. I'll let JJ do that one. Favorite language?
Yep.
Yeah. Band that whipped it good.
I should probably know that, but
It's Devo.
Devo? Like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Place to practice karate.
Dojo.
Correct. Forgetful fish of Finding Nemo.
Dory.
Man. JJ coming through. Maybe with a Y? There we go. Olympic event to determine the world's greatest athlete. Bullshit, by the way.
Decathlon?
Yeah.
Decathlon?
Decathlon. I call bullshit on world's greatest athlete, by the way. Samson's betrayer.
Fuck. Bible.
No, not correct. I know that one.
Normally,
Aren't you the Bible student among us?
Well, I mean, I like mythology. I mean, so yes, generally speaking.
Delilah.
Okay.
Venetian ruler or famous Shivain. Okay, that's good. That's a good connection. I like that. I never even considered that. It's Doge. That's good. Okay, that's really good.
Oh, that's the dog.
That's the dog. Yeah, Shivain.
Okay,
that's really good. Doctor Who villain who wants to seek to exterminate.
Those are the Daleks.
Thank you. I wouldn't have gotten that one.
In the first appearance in Doctor Who, they did not say the word exterminate even once.
Yeah, that was the first question I didn't know, and JJ is always there to save the day. It's great. Roman goddess of the hunt is
that is
Diane, right?
Diana, yeah. We've had that before.
Diana, okay. Marcel Duchamp's nonsensical art genre. What? What is that called? Is it Daba? Dada?
Fuck's sake, what's there's
Dada. British word for the game of checkers. I think it's technically a different game. It's draughts.
What?
You know what? Just type it out and then... See, I knew he was gonna do that. See, that stuff is what I'm putting up with every time. And you can't see it when JJ's typing. Alright. God's sake.
Hey, I've got no clue. I've never heard of it before.
Okay. DR, right? A-U... GHTS. And I believe it's a different game because checkers is played on 8x8 and drafts is played on a 10x10 board. I believe, I'm not sure. Hardest natural material is diamond, and the D in LED is a diode, which means that we score 24 out of 24. And that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, we're reaching new levels every single time we finish a quiz like this.
Yeah, because we don't have an account. We're not logged in. So 24 out of 24 for the first time, that's great. Most known one is Dan by far, Daffy Duck, Dingo, Dill, Dunce. And the least known one is Dada. Okay, yeah, that's... Drafts is only 33.
You know what? The three least known ones I wouldn't have known either. As a matter of fact, there's a lot in there that I wouldn't have known.
The only one I wouldn't have known is, interestingly enough, one that you know, which is the Doctor Who villains, which is great. Because this is how it works perfectly. If we can just, like, someone doesn't know a thing and the other person knows, that's perfect.
Average score is 15.
Okay, that's fine. Our 24. So let's get into the E one right away. Center of a hurricane, JJ, the I. Noble rank in Britain. I'm gonna let JJ do it.
Earl.
Yeah. Where Ra and Cyrus were worshipped.
Egypt.
Yeah, dude. Sword of King Arthur.
That's Excalibur.
Yes. Exact.
Excalibur.
Yep. Popular Beethoven piece. For...
I don't know classical music.
Yeah, Elise.
That makes sense.
Language. You should know that as a German kid. Language created in the 1800s with over 1 million speakers.
Well, I mean...
I feel like I know what they're getting at, but it's not English.
I was about to say English should probably be older, right?
No. Yeah, way older. And way more speakers. I think
over 1 million doesn't leave an upper bound, so it could literally...
Yeah. I think I know what they're getting at, though.
What are they getting at?
Esperanto. Yeah, almost.
Like that?
Yeah, like that. Title of the ruler of Dubai.
Emir?
Auction website.
eBay?
Yep. Irish for Ireland. I can tell you how it's spelled, but not how it's pronounced.
That's fair enough.
E-I-R-E.
E-I-R-E.
Maybe it's like Airy something.
Oh!
Swiss mathematician, one of the greatest ever.
Euler.
Yes. Exit or female aigrette.
I don't even know what the second one means.
What is
What is an aigrette?
But exit?
Well, exit, first of all, starts with letter E to begin with, but I assume that it's not the correct answer.
No. What's right here? One of the three parts of the psyche is the ego. Latin for therefore.
Ergo.
Yep. Cogito ergo sum. Street Haunted by Freddy Krueger.
Elm Street.
Franklin's first lady.
I don't know.
Eleanor.
Oh, yeah. Eleanor.
Greek god of love.
Why am I stumped right now? That should be easy.
That's one of the easier ones, I think. Well, there's a lot of them. It's Eros.
Okay.
European Song Contest.
It's oftentimes referred as such. Eurovision.
Yeah, right? Eurovision. It's also a fucking train wreck, dude. City near Dusseldorf and Dortmund.
Essen?
Yep. Fun fact, I was at Dortmund today as we speak. Major river of the Czech Republic and Germany.
I should probably know that.
You should know that. That's true. We have some time, so let him think. Use his noodle a little bit.
So the moon of Jupiter that may have oceans is probably Europa? If I could...
Yeah, it's Europa.
Hit the correct keys as well?
Yeah. The major river is the Elbe.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Famous river, yeah.
Companion to the Tigris, which is also a river, by the way. Really? Euphrates.
I don't know... what?
You know your Bible stuff. Euphrts.
Oh, T-E-S. I'm sorry.
Slimy goo left by ghosts.
That would be ectoplasm.
Yeah. Japanese emoticons.
Like, did I just want to hear emoji?
Yeah, he's one I'm pretty sure he's one emoji.
Because I wouldn't know anything specifically.
And the unagi.
Unagi I've heard before.
Yeah.
I can't place it right now, but I've heard it before.
It's an eel.
Oh, those, yeah.
You know the one, if you remember The Last Airbender, the creature in front of Kyoshi Island that there came
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
It's probably referred to.
Right. Dang it, man. Are we really going to fail it because of this one? See, I hate it. I hate it when that happens.
Just think, I mean, if you also don't know what an aigrette is, then just give me other words for exit.
Yeah. Oh, man. Sucks. Like, people at home just know this watching the podcast, like you are. Idiots.
Like, even like other languages, maybe like Latin, French, something that influences the English a lot.
I don't know. Let's give up, man. I don't know. Dang it, what is it? Egress. Okay.
Actually,
it could have gotten it.
We couldn't have gotten it just from the etymology because female egress.
Yeah, exactly. Center of hurricane was known one. The auction website. The least known one is Euler. What the fuck? What people?
I'm thoroughly disappointed.
Yeah, that's suspicious. The least known one. You all don't know Euler? What the hell? What? Everyone has been in contact with the number E. I would reckon during their school career. Like all of exponential function stuff.
Fuck's sake, like how do people know they're like the fucking model of the mind better than like I mean that's
I think people just typed Einstein. They just were half thinking and just all thought Einstein.
Well, because a German physicist is the same as a Swiss mathematician, right?
Yeah. Wasn't he Austrian actually, Einstein?
Maybe, I
think
know.
He was Austrian. But
then again, many famous Austrians get mistaken for Germans.
Dubious, yeah. Euler, that's disrespectful, man. He really is one of the greatest. Let's get into F. Animal that makes a poor hen.
Also, there's a picture of one in case you didn't know it's a fox.
A big pot of melted cheese for dipping.
Is it like fondue?
Yeah, it's fondue. French word, exactly. Country in Oceania.
I hate it. I hate it when I type the last letter, but it already accepts it.
Yeah, like with Xavier that one time. That was great. A country in Oceania. Probably Fiji, right? Tinker Bell, for example.
Fairy.
German for woman.
Frau.
Yep. Guy bird in effigy on bonfire night. It's a pun there. That's the thing. It's Guy Fawkes, so Guy.
Oh. Wait, is it not?
Excuse me, what the fuck?
Is it nice?
It's a Brit, not a French guy.
Wait,
FAW.
Oh, right, that's what it was. Right, yeah.
Oh, Guy bird. That's a good one. Wabbit hunter. Who's that? Is that Fuddle? Oh, it's Fought, just Fought. Style of hat worn by Indiana Jones.
Is that technically a fedora? I don't know. It's not.
I mean, that's the type of hat that.
That's the type of hat. That's not what. Is that what he?
I think so. I mean, yeah.
Is it technically falls under it? Okay.
Rockin'. What's that? Subterranean puppets created by Jim Henson. Oh man.
I've heard the name Jim Henson before.
Is it Flaggers?
I can try, but what
Flabbers, WBERS, Flaggers, Fladders. I think it's something along those lines. Fabbers? Fadders? No. Oh, man, what is it? I hate that. Doctor who made a man from spare parts.
Oh yeah, Frankenstein. I was very confused by the question because I read it as Doctor Who.
Yeah. No, Doctor Who. Type of mural painted on fresh plasters. Fresco. Ball of fried chickpeas. Your Oriental cuisine knowledge, JJ?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Falafel.
Okay.
L-A... Dude, you're so ignorant. Yeah.
Okay.
Absent-minded professor's invention.
I feel like that's something I should know.
Flubber?
That was a movie.
Last name of Atticus Scout and Jam. Good book. Finch. To Kill a Mockingbird. Main family of To Kill a Mockingbird. Very good book. Opposite of piano. Forte. Mushrooms, yeast, and molds.
Fungus. Fungi.
Yes.
Because plural.
Soccer to a Spaniard. Football.
How do they spell it then?
Futbol. Very simple.
F-U-T-B-O-A. What?
O-L.
O-L?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Henry, Peter, Jane, or Bridget.
I assume is it the last name again?
Yeah,
or?
it's the last name. Fonda. You know?
Fonda.
You know? Henry Fonda?
Fonda.
Yeah.
Okay.
City near Denali.
I wouldn't know.
Fairbanks.
Fairbanks?
The big city in Alaska. Name of the Barber of Seville. Culture, JJ. Culture.
I'm not cultured.
Culture. It's Figaro. Very culture. Pickpocket. Ringleader in Oliver Twist. I should... Maker of jeweled eggs is Fabergé. We need to get through the other ones first. Car part or famous guitar brand. It's Fender. Right. And Deluge is a flood.
Is it Fender?
Fender. E.
Yeah.
Oh. And Deluge is a flood.
Oh, yeah. Right.
The other ones, man. Rockin' Subterranean Pop is created by Jim Hansen. Pickpocket Ring Oliver Twist. Man. It's Flabbers, Flaggers, Flatter. Oh, man.
So far it appears that we're getting one less per round.
That's not a good development.
Which is not a good trajectory, no.
I should know the puppets and the Pickpocket Ringleader.
So you're saying you should know all the remaining answers?
I generally should. Yes. Is it Fagin? The Ringleader. Fagin? Fagin. Rockin' Subterranean Puppets, man. Flaggers. Dang it, I can't. Man.
5,
No,
4,
don't know it.
3, 2, 1.
I hate that stuff. Fraggles. Kill myself, dude.
Apparently 41% of people do that.
Fraggles, man.
At least no one. Fairbanks.
I don't know why my brain does this to me all the time.
Followed
Fairbanks,
by Fagin and Figaro.
Wow, people aren't cultured.
Falafel. Flood is the first one that is known by half the people.
Yeah. People don't know Figaro, man. Y'all not cultured. Y'all uneducated. No, just kidding. Fox, Fairy, Fondue, Frankenstein, Fungi, Fedora makes sense. Fraggles. Damn it. That one we did not have to lose. We could have won that one. That was bad. That's on me. I should have. Man. I don't know why my brain does it. Like, flabbers, flaggers, some. Dang it.
I thought the weirdest question in here was the flubber one, because there was no indication in of itself that it was even talking about fiction.
Yeah.
So I was kind of thinking more actual historical science, less than that one Robin Williams movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
people need to know Figaro. That's culture, and I should have known Fraggles. So yeah, my bad. We won one.
More people speak Spanish than like most of the other ones.
Why?
The food.
That's not that. You don't have to speak Spanish for that. That's very obvious. You know how like Brits call it football too?
I mean, but they spell it all kinds of differently.
But come on. I mean, come on. That's not. Obviously, like it's just spelled the way it's always spoken in Spanish. I think that's pretty common knowledge. I don't know much Spanish, but I know that. Seems reasonable. I don't know. But we won the first one. Second one we missed one. The third one we missed one.
I mean, it's still a really good outcome.
It's fine, but I'd like to win more of them.
Average score was 15. I don't think I pointed it out for the other one was, but
it
was on the screen, so people could actually see it for themselves.
Because like on average, we just like 1 out of 6 to 8, we actually end up winning. But okay, it's whatever. So Fraggles. If we play it again in 5 years, I'll have it. Maybe, probably not. But that's the halftime show. We're gonna turn off the live feed and we're gonna hop back onto the actual picture, and we're gonna hit you with the fact of the week right off the bat, starting with JJ's fact of this week, which is the fact that you could have picked up there.
Well, yeah, I was actually gonna go into it a bit differently, so that then you kind of messed me up there. But
I see.
So I was gonna first ask you about knowing a certain song, and then I was gonna go into the backstory.
All right, I do know the song.
Yeah, you do know the song. It's Marie Laveau by Volbeat. By the way, check it out. It's not my song of the week because that seems too hard.
It's a very good song.
Fun fact: there was 2 Marie Laveaus.
There was 2 Marie Laveaus?
Yes, and
I did not know.
I I think if I remember correctly, it's a mother and a daughter.
Okay.
And because they were around at the same time, some historical recountings of Marie Laveau didn't specify which one.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of how
I didn't know that.
She was a voodoo priestess in Louisiana, but there was two of them, and for some accounts it's not clear which one is talked about, which kind of adds to the mystique of the character.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. I literally only knew that one existed. Didn't even know there were two different ones. That's interesting. But yeah, also a very, very good song. What kind of a fact would you like today, JJ? I have a couple of facts here. You know, there's a few facts. There's one. That's one's interesting. Let me. What kind of fact? Give me a rough direction.
You know what? How about, to keep it a bit in theme, how about another historically oriented fact?
Oh, historically oriented fact? Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I got you one. This is a pretty good one, right? So you know how a lot of pencils are yellow?
Yes.
You know why they are yellow?
The stereotypical one definitely always is.
You know why they are?
I don't.
So pencils are yellow because back in the day when pencils were, a thing, being made as a big thing, the best graphite, which is the material that, pencils used to write, was from China. And in China, yellow is a royal color. So the pencil companies, doesn't matter where they got their graphite from, they would just color their pencils, the outside of their pencils yellow to make it seem like they were Chinese. Because yellow is a royal color in China. So a yellow pencil represented good graphite quality.
Okay.
And that stuck. And to this day, a lot of pencils are still yellow.
If you think of a stereotypical pencil, it's always the yellow pencil with the little pink rubber.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
At the end,
that's why pencils to this day, a lot of them are still yellow. Interesting fact of the week.
That's.
I still have a couple of facts there, but I think in like 4 or 5 weeks I'll be running out and I'll need to reload on facts. But there's always some coming up. But
there's always some kind of interesting facts I can dig up. I literally, and this fact literally came up because I wanted to research the person and found out that there was two. Yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting,
yeah. That definitely does that make the song better? Is there like reference to that specific thing in the song?
I don't know. I just knew that I knew that she was like a real historical person, voodoo priest. I knew that much, and then because when I was listening to the song, I was like, maybe I should look up a bit more detail. And
that's interesting. I was not aware, but now I am. Get smarter every day with TrashcanTV. It sounds paradoxical, but it is true. Let's get into the second topic. How do you like that?
Right.
We have yeah, exactly. Woof is right, and we're probably not gonna make a lot of friends with this one, but a couple of weeks back we played the third episode of the Life is Strange 2 of the game, and people love it, and I don't.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either.
I've seen people on r/ Life is Strange call this the best episode of the game. Some call it the best episode of the series, like the entire Life is Strange franchise. Makes me vomit out a little bit in my mouth, just a little bit.
I think this game, definitely in general, is the weakest one in the franchise.
It's a lot weaker than the first two games, like a lot weaker.
And I think that this probably also was the weakest episode from the game.
And I'm gonna tell you my theory to why both of those things are, right? Because Life is Strange, we've established that a long time ago, as opposed to games like The Walking Dead, and they to a degree too, but Life is Strange, over story, much more was about what?
What?
What was Life is Strange all about? Even more so than any kind of story element.
The characters.
Characters, right?
Yeah, and we switch too much around.
We get new characters every time, and they're not very good. Like, what kind of characters have we had outside of Daniel and Sean? Brody, the random helpful guy showing up. We have the stereotypical racist redneck gas station owner. Then we have the old stupid conservative grandparents who don't know shit. Okay, then we have the neighbor's kid who was okay. That was a little bit of a foreshadow with the Captain Spirit episode. A little bit of a connection there, and now we get these freeloaders.
Yeah, I mean the most well-defined characters outside of the two protagonists, arguably,
is the well-defined character is fucking Mushroom. Dude,
but like who's relatively well defined is like it's Captain Spirit and his father because they've had a game before.
Exactly, they had an episode. Remember that like people like Lila exist,
and then it's kind of Esteban.
And then Esteban, who they killed off within the first 30 minutes.
But they've made another flashback, which extended a bit on the family dynamic again.
Exactly. So, the thing is that when, like, the first Life is Strange, limited cast, and Before the Storm to a degree as well, limited cast, expensive character development in a limited range too. In this case, I get it. It's about being on the run. And when you're on the run, you're going off the grid, you meet different kinds of people. But that doesn't really play well on the Life is Strange idea of character over everything, right? Because so far, there's not a character in the game that I'm invested in. And we're 3 episodes into the 5. And that's a problem.
I mean, I guess the kind of the crux of the game is the relationship between Sean and Daniel.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this is all about. Because that's like the one thing that seems to develop.
Yeah.
That, and then Daniel as a character as a whole develops a bit as well with his developing his powers and also establishing a bit of a personality. Yeah. But it seems like they're focusing more on the story.
Yeah, and they're not doing it very well.
And even then, it's not progressing at all.
They're not doing it very well. Because this entire episode was filler.
It almost feels like most of the story progress, especially later on, has happened in between episodes. Mm-hmm. Because in the first episode, we got a lot of progress. Yeah. That was okay.
Yeah, that was fun.
But then, second episode, we're with the grandparents. We're stationary.
We're there.
And then
we're hanging with these guys.
Yeah, and then
in the woods.
At the end of the episode, something happens, and then in the next episode, we're in the woods.
Yeah,
it's like all of the actual stuff happening. Was always at like a bit at the end of the episode, and then in between episodes.
See, what I don't like about episodes like this is that like this was just a filler episode that didn't progress the story much. They tried to focus on character, which the characters were to a large degree terrible, and they just used the entire episode to basically squeeze in all the themes that a Life is Strange game stereotypically needs to have.
I mean, one thing that they did do relatively well is that they tried to focus only on a handful of characters. Like, they have the group, but you can clearly tell that some of the characters in the group
are they're focusing on Finn and Cassidy for the most part.
Finn and Cassidy, mostly.
Mostly,
And especially Finn is kind of, I think, the most important character besides the main characters in the episode itself. But even then,
I don't know. There was an extensive cutscene which we didn't go into with Cassidy if we join her at the lake, and then you have like the option for Sean to pick whether to be with Finn or Cassidy, which we really ignored most of the time but that tells you something about how little we are invested in these characters.
Yeah,
like we didn't even care to play that part of the game because that's like another 20 minutes or something when they're at the lake and they're having conversation. And everything.
To be fair, we probably should have, but
yeah, maybe. But like at that point, it was like, I can't care enough about the character of Cassidy to do that.
Honestly, that makes the setup weirder though, because the whole like, oh yeah, let's do the heisting. Let's just say goodbye to the guys real quick and let's go.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we're spending 20 minutes elsewhere. Yeah. That's also kind of weird.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, the whole heist scene in of itself wasn't that great.
Yeah. And also
the weed cutting scene wasn't that great either.
No. And once again, I've talked about this so many times before, but stop writing romance if you're not focusing on it. I've said this in previous games, by the way. But for God's sakes, we jump a month into these guys. We've only seen them once hanging out at the freaking Christmas fair, playing music, being bums, and then later in a foreshadowing, they now work, like they now hang out with Sean and Daniel. And like we got thrown this episode and you got Finn and Cassidy hitting on Sean for some reason. And we have no reason at all to be invested or be into that storyline at all. With the Chloe Rachel or Chloe Max dynamic, it's completely different. Those characters are shown to go through stuff together, right? It's show, don't tell. That's a very simple principle.
And even then, even if we had only had one episode with the characters, there was always the point that they, especially with Max, is that they've known each other before.
Yeah.
So there is backstory there even outside of the game itself. For those characters, there's almost completely unestablished what happened between episodes.
Exactly.
And even if that was more thoroughly established, it would still be we've only known them for a month or so.
Yeah.
Like Max and Chloe, they have the whole thing where they're childhood friends, and it gets brought up right when they meet the first time.
Exactly.
And that plays into their relationship.
Exactly. And then they grow closer through all that stuff. Because they're constantly going, like, making all this shit happen together. Why am I supposed to invest in Okay, let's just go with Kathy, because that's a very extensive storyline that we didn't went into. But there's a storyline where Sean then gets with Cassidy, which, by the way, major statutory rape. He's 16 and she's like 24 or something. But game logic, right? But why am I supposed to be interested?
Well, I mean, French developers, right?
French developers.
Europe is, I think...
Yeah, I don't know.
Parts of Europe are relatively loose on that kind of stuff.
Maybe.
And I would be surprised if French was one of the looser ones.
That might be true. But at that point, Sean has spoken like 3 straight lines to Cassidy in person on screen.
The age thing, I'm not even that... Like that.
Yeah, it's just a minor remark. Yeah. Just saying.
But, you know, like 16, you're probably old enough to know what you're doing.
Yeah, fair enough, whatever.
But that's not really the point here.
Yeah. There was just a remark. But more specifically, why should I be invested in that relationship at all? And Finn, that's even more out of the blue.
Yeah, that's very out of left field.
Like, how did that all of a sudden happen? It's just like, I feel like that's just, forcing in optional homosexuality into Life is Strange games.
To be fair, I like that they have characters that are homosexual or bisexual without that being like all that the character is about, because that's a problem that you often have with fictional characters.
Of course,
oh yeah, this character is gay. Let us remind you every 5 minutes that character is gay.
That's what he is, right? Of course.
But
that's called flanderization.
But still, like it came very out of nowhere. Like, okay, Finn, I totally get it, right?
Yeah, whatever.
It's not surprising. Right? But Sean, we've never had any indication that. To be fair, we never had too much of any romantic
okay. We didn't have that. We didn't have that for Max either, and we had the option to be with Chloe or Warren, depending. That's the thing, right? You get to choose someone's sexuality in Life is Strange. Fair enough. I don't care. That's a theme that the game has, but there is just no reason for us to care about these characters.
To be fair, I was actually, weirdly enough, I was kind of surprised when Finn came on to Sean. That actually that took me by surprise, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it just kind of felt out of place.
Yeah, it feels...
In that episode.
It doesn't make sense, because the first time... Like, there's I think, one-on-one interaction with Finn before that? Or, like, 2? I mean... The knife-throwing thing?
Yeah, and he was also... When we got back from work, he was like, oh, honey, how was work?
Yeah, exactly. Like, this sassy remark.
But, yeah, I was about to say, that is to be interpreted jokingly, seriously, and all of a sudden, he's seriously flirting. It's...
So, that it makes no sense, because apparently everything happened in that 1 month, and we haven't seen any of it, and they're not even really explaining. So all of a sudden, this is just the case, and not to mention that all of those characters are not good characters. Like, it's kind of the I want to call it the Borderlands syndrome, right? Because that's how it worked for me when we played Tales from the Borderlands, which we get introduced to characters, which it was worse then because they were forced upon us the entire game, which is characters that from the moment you see them, you hate them, and you're forced to collaborate with them and work with them and be on their side.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that I necessarily hated the characters, but
like personally, the characters of Finn, Cassidy, and the bunch, I hate them.
I feel like that's more your problem, but
I don't like the characters, man. We can go through them, but they're not good characters.
The problem is just that, again, like, even the most well-developed characters out of them weren't very well-developed.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem, right? Because those characters, in a way, aren't too different from Chloe.
No, but here's the thing, right? Specifically Cassidy, and that's what I was going at. Okay, let's start with Cassidy, right? Cassidy is Chloe, but in bad. There's no character development, and it's just Chloe taken to an extreme, and oh my god, so edgy. This is like if Chloe stayed on the same path that she's on, and lost all of her humor 5 years down the line. Let's be honest. That's what Cassidy is.
That's exactly it, right? Like,
and got a Texan accent.
But yeah, Chloe could have easily been similar to Cassidy. But the thing why Chloe has a way more positive, association with her is because she's a more valuable character.
Yes.
And you actually get to know her as a person.
For Chloe, we've been there on the day that William died, the day that Max disappeared, on the day that David showed up, and all the bullshit that she has been living through in school, with Frank, with David, with the Rachel shit, with the Max stuff, with the William stuff. And for those guys, it's just like, oh yeah, like Penny sitting on the campfire being like, oh yeah, this dude got lost. He went missing. Rachel Amber, right? Obviously parallel there. Oh yeah, he went missing. That storyline worked once.
He
said it.
Weird,
yeah,
right?
He said that's like a 30-second thing of him saying that. Show, don't tell. Of course, you don't have the time to do that for all the characters, but then don't expect me to buy into that character as much as I would buy into a Chloe or Rachel or Max character. All I need is I need the number of Penny's barber. That looked fly, but other than that, the character is flat as Kansas. Flat as a pancake, as a matter of fact, which I believe Kansas is flatter as a pancake.
No. The pancake is flatter than Kansas. That was the whole point.
Right. That was it, right?
Because
the pancake is flatter than Kansas. Yeah, and also Florida. Florida's the flattest state.
That's not the point.
No, that really is not the point. So Penny, flat as a pancake, Kansas, Florida, whatever you want. Very flat character, doesn't have really anything to it other than got a pretty nice lettuce.
Yeah, but it's weird, right? Because they have that element of his character of the missing friend that they bring up once. Yeah. Well, you can, I think, at all you can bring up 2 or 3 times because you can have the conversation with him. You can find the poster.
Yeah,
I think you can mention it to someone else, but
sure,
that's not important to the story, and the character still doesn't get more developed through it. And the way he reacts to it when we bring it up is also kind of weird. He's like, "Oh yeah, I was looking for him for a while. I'm still kind of looking for him, but maybe we'll meet. Who knows?"
Yeah. So at this point,
he almost seemed indifferent to it. But
at this point, why is the character necessary?
Yeah, right. So when we first find the poster, it is implied that's a big part of who he is. When we talk about with another character about it, it's oh yeah, this is what Penny's about.
Yeah.
He's about finding that guy, and then we talk to him, it's oh yeah, maybe we'll meet again. Who knows?
Maybe not. But the story also won't focus on this at all. So why should, if Penny barely cares, and so does everyone else, why should we?
Yeah, right.
And thereby, why should we care about Penny if that's all he does? Also, very weird name.
I mean, I kind of. Well, I mean, they said it's short for Pennywise, and it's also not his actual name, I believe, because we saw his ID. I think they just jokingly call him that, and I think they did nicknames a lot, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm okay with the name.
Whatever. That was a joke, obviously. But yeah, the flat character. Let's get on to the next one, maybe. That one woman who was so unimportant that I already forgot her name. The one that Sean just made.
Hannah?
Hannah?
I think
the one
Hannah.
That Sean just made a remark of. She doesn't like me. She's an asshole to everyone.
Yeah, didn't you have the whole thing with Cassidy when they were cutting the weed? Didn't they have the whole back and forth thing?
Yeah, maybe they might. I forgot. I literally forgot. Right? I just remember that she was there at some point, and Sean.
She had a lot of facial tattoos.
Yeah, she's terrible. But she made a remark about Sean made a remark about her, and she sat in places and just looked kind of angry at people sometimes. And, no back. I don't remember her backstory or anything. I just know she was there and I didn't like her. Let's go to the 2 Swedish people, right? What the fuck were they there for? Do you just need diversity? The one guy literally spoke 2 things, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we're getting drunk tonight," with a can of beer in hand. Oh really? Thanks, sir. I could have had JJ tell me that.
I mean, I get it that you can just have the camp with literally just 4 characters,
yes,
including our 2 protagonists.
You fill it up with people, but dang it, man, what are they good for?
I mean, it's kind of like the school. There was also, in Life is Strange, there was a bunch of characters we could talk to that were barely relevant.
Yes.
But it felt like even those characters were more well-developed sometimes than...
Look at a character like Alyssa, for example, right?
Yeah.
Alyssa is more interesting of a character than all of those people together.
It's you get bits of the characters kind of almost passively, but you kind of get what they're about.
You get Kate, you get a couple of
Kate is relatively important,
Kate is relatively important.
Who was it?
Nathan.
There's one girl that flies the drone all the time.
Stella.
Yeah, Stella.
Yeah.
Right?
Brooke.
Stella.
Yeah.
She's into Warren.
Yeah.
She kind of doesn't like Max because Warren is clearly into her.
And then science,
She likes her drone.
Yeah.
There's more characters in her than in any one of the characters.
Because you got the scene.
Than the camp.
Yeah, they did it so subtly and so genius. You got that optional scene in the lab where you don't even have to go at all. And you got that optional interaction with Mrs. Grant and Warren to make the whole chemical thing. And then you get the optional interaction with Stella sitting in the back of that classroom. That's incredible attention to detail. And it's stuff they put into the game for a good reason. I get that they're still trying to do this, but with characters this flat, there really isn't much of that at all. And so then we still have Cassidy and Finn, which are both kind of, both failed, crippled versions of an attempt at making Chloe. Both.
It's weird because as I said, we have so many side characters in the other 2 games that feel well thought out.
Yeah.
And you get their character just from a quick interaction, but for this camp of kids, they all kind of were like, oh yeah, hey, look, there's a stoner living in the woods.
Yeah, exactly.
And like that's everyone's character. Like the most in-depth character there arguably was that one religious guy. What was his name? Jake?
Oh, Jacob, yeah. He's the one guy I don't hate, is the thing. He's like a Mormon or something. Was it?
I don't know, but like...
I forgot it too because he's irrelevant, but he's the one guy I like that.
He used to be religious.
Yeah.
He kind of lost his faith.
Right.
But he still is like, he doesn't drink, I think. He doesn't
didn't fit
drugs.
he didn't fit in the group at all.
There's also a thing, it's never really established why he fits into the group that well.
That's only the only normal character.
But, like, he seems to kind of have a personality more than some of the characters we were supposed to care about in that episode.
See, when they wrote Cassidy and Finn, they think, oh yeah, we're doing what was Chloe? Kind of an outcast, into drugs and a bit of a rebel, always one wrong step away of falling off her own edge. Maybe we just make that, but leave all the character out, right? And that's not what works, because you get characters like Cassidy and you get characters like Finn, and for some reason, our main characters, protagonists, Sean, Daniel, are invested in those characters, like big time.
I mean, granted, they've been crashing with them for like a month or so.
Yes.
At that point, but
show don't tell. How am I supposed to reflect that same sentiment?
You know what?
If I haven't seen any of it.
The scene in the beginning, right? The one flashback back home when they were just arguing about the watch. Completely unnecessary. Didn't really add that much.
But it was okay.
Like, replace that with just like a montage of stuff that happened during the month that they were there.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be a montage, but like a moment.
Yeah.
Just have the moment, man. Just one moment. Max and Chloe had so many moments, dude. Chloe's like in the parking lot. The bathroom before the bathroom, the parking lot, Chloe's room, the train tracks, the junkyard, Frank's place, school again, the night one, swimming pool. Those are moments, man. And then episode 5 at the end, and the flashback too, very big one. And then at the end, you hit him with the character conflict. And in this one, it's like, what was the only conflict that was ever there? Still the safe or not, right? That was like the first piece of conflict that we've had in like 1.5 full episodes.
It seems like they had a story they wanted to tell, and then they just, because they didn't have a lot of time with the characters, they just kind of threw in like the character archetypes. Like, like here is there's some stoners that live in a forest. Let's give them all an interesting trait. You're Scandinavian. You have a missing friend.
Yeah.
You play guitar. You throw knives.
That's what they did. And why am I supposed to invest in characters? Why am I supposed to invest in a romance storyline, which was terribly written?
Storyline is more like a story point.
Yeah, I have exactly, but that's not how romance works, right? That was a very good point, actually. I couldn't have said it any better. And I haven't even seen the line where it goes into the Finn romance. I haven't even looked at that, but I've seen one more playthrough where it goes into the Cassidy one, where picks the scene where you can, which is also an optional one, where you can go to the lake with Cassidy.
I'm not all opposed to stuff being optional, because that's kind of what adds to the game, because that makes every playthrough unique. But
exactly, that could have been. See, if the Cassidy character were actually interesting, then that could have been a good. Then it could have been a good point. Because that was definitely a moment. They're in the lake. They're talking about Finn's plan and I'm not sure about this stuff. It was. I mean, obviously they were trying to recreate the Max and Chloe in the pool moment. Is very, very obvious. Water splashing stuff. All that. They're taking
there's a lot of parallels in previous games.
There is, obviously. They're thinking, we'll redo the same thing and it's going to work, but because the crux of the whole matter is the characters, and the characters are bad. In this one, I really didn't like any of them. Jake was fine. Like, he was the only character I'm neutral about. The other ones, I don't like any of them.
I feel like every character had like one thing about them.
Yeah. And
oftentimes the thing wasn't interesting enough to justify the character in and of itself, and we should have had, honestly, that the whole story that we had in this episode wasn't even necessary.
Yeah,
we could have literally cut like the whole working at the weed farm, doing that, and had them just like an episode where it's just like the day-to-day life in the camp. Get more chance to interact with the characters. Get more chance to talk to them. Get to know them.
If you want to make it about characters, which is hard with a big cast and little time, because presumably only 1 or 2 episodes. I don't know how. We'll see how it's gonna go from here. We don't even know if Sean's alive or something, but there's good reason to believe that these characters are not out of the picture and we're moving on. The game is about a journey, and that's, I think, what they're failing to grasp. They're writing in a style which is character focused, which the first 2 games were. But that's not what the game is about. The game is more in the style of The Walking Dead. And if you wrote an episode about actually where the main theme is them trying to move on and encountering problems while they do so, while being supported by that cast of squatters in the woods that they just happen to pass by, it's a different type of game. It's more Telltale than Life is Strange, more Telltale than Square Enix. But it might have worked better for the storyline that you chose.
I also think that, again, if we had... They could have made it so that it was more focused on the group. Mm-hmm. You could have gotten to know the character. You could have also fit that into like a 3-4 hour episode. Yeah. And then just had a different reasons for why they move on. Granted, the reason should probably be something that separates them again, because it's how you want the story to go, apparently. But we could have gotten to know the characters. Yeah,
they can't. Exactly, if they took the time to do it. Because we know that they can do it. Chloe is a perfect example of making an unlikable character likable and a fan favorite. And then Finn and Cassidy are perfect examples of failing to do so.
Also, like, I feel like every single game in Life is Strange franchise, first of all, they've had characters that were only there for like an episode. Yeah. They've also, every game, I think, after you've played the first episode, you got a good feel for the characters. All the characters that are important. And so you can clearly tell that they can set up a character in one episode. And the original Life is Strange, I think the episodes were a bit shorter as well. And they still did it. But
told a story.
But here it feels like they're not doing that as well because they try to cram too much into one episode.
Because there also isn't really...
Sometimes less is more.
There isn't really... That's another point that I've noticed. But there really isn't a lot of interconnection between other characters. Like the Cassidy-Finn conflict with the save robbing. Before that, we really don't know much about the workings, like the dynamics in the camp. Who's friends with whom? Who's having beef with whom? In the actual game, we know all that stuff. And just casually drop in. Victoria walking in, writing that link on the mirror. You know, her connection to Kate. Jefferson dropping those lines. We see Jefferson talking to Kate. We see Jefferson talking to David. We saw David talking to Kate. We just pass by while that kind of stuff happens. A lot of stuff happens in the background. It builds the world, right? It builds a connection.
Yeah, world building. That's very important.
Exactly. And they really don't do that. We look at this episode and we really have to think if Daniel and Sean weren't there, all these people would have just been robots going about their daily thing, not talking, not thinking, not doing anything. That's kind of how it felt, because there really isn't much there. They all kind of live in their own little world with their own little thing, and they happen to have to be crashing together in the woods in some tents.
I mean, yeah, there was some interaction between the characters, but it's very limited. Even then, sometimes I think the scene where we're making coffee, I think there was like 2 people sitting in the kitchen.
Yeah,
and only once you go up to them, they really start talking.
Exactly. There's really no.
I think actually the scene right before the heist, the campfire, I think that's where like the most cross-character interaction actually happened that didn't involve the main characters. But
there's
still,
a surprising lack of cutscenes of people just doing stuff. It's kind of like, it's more of an, I don't know if RPG is the correct word, but they're just kind of NPCs that sit around that you can go up to and get information out of. But that's kind of that. And that's not congruent with the type of story that you're talking, the type of character focused story that you are trying to tell. So very much against the grain. I've read a lot of popular things, a lot of positive feedback about this episode. I did not like it. I thought it was arguably definitely the weakest episode of Life is Strange of the franchise, and probably also the worst or least interesting one to play on either that or original game episode 4. Which is the tedious one with all the mini games.
But at least that had part of the plot for the whole game.
It had a lot of plotting, which was important. It had the discovery of the dark room.
One thing that I have to say as kind of like a devil's advocate thing is that you tend to judge characters very easily, and if those are people that you wouldn't like in real life, you oftentimes go like, oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna like those characters. I hate the episode.
Right. But here's the thing, right? They've done it before with Chloe, with Rachel.
Yeah. I'm not saying that
they can do it.
I do think that you oftentimes judge it too harshly, but
I judge harshly. I judge character.
But that's while it is a problem in how you, in my opinion, on how you approach that kind of stuff, because just because a character has some flaws that you might strongly disagree with doesn't necessarily mean that the episode was bad. But the thing is, the episode wasn't that great.
Yeah, the episode wasn't that good.
Like,
because a character is supposed to be likable. You can make an actually unlikable character a fan favorite. Example is Chloe. But you also could just let it be flanderized to all hell. Example is everyone in the camp.
Even if you go into characters like Nathan and Victoria, you weren't supposed to like them.
Obviously not.
But they were still interesting characters.
Invested in the character. Jefferson, one of my favorite characters in all of the game.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of the most interesting characters.
Frank. All those people are very dubious.
Well, kind of the weak spot of the Jefferson character is that it's kind of weird where he doesn't really have a strong motivation. It's just like
he's obsessed with photography thing, art. He's just crazy. But that's there's more character to Jefferson than to every member of the cast outside of Sean and Daniel.
I mean, granted, there's always the chance that something else comes up with one of the characters later on.
Yeah.
Because the Jefferson character is only interesting once you find out that he's bad.
Yeah. I mean,
Before that, he's not necessarily a horrible character.
Characters I still have hopes for, Brody.
But
he could turn on us. I mean, you didn't think Jefferson would.
Yeah, no. I mean, the Jefferson character was interesting enough to be in the game before he was the villain.
Yeah,
he definitely profited from being the villain.
Exactly, like his quotes. You could tell he's a smart guy. He had some wits to him. Good character. You could develop a good character, and you could flip him around, and he's still a good character.
Oh god, when Kate is jumping off the roof, he's like, "Class dismissed." Yeah. Once everyone's already out.
Exactly. Like, everyone remained in their seats. Everyone's out dismissed. Yeah, small moment, but very, very good. So that's kind of like the WWE writing, right? If you write a guy correctly, he's a good heel, he's a good face, no matter what. He can do his thing.
You can get him over, yeah.
You can get him over. So this game has not gotten anyone over for me. Really. Not even Daniel and Sean for the most part.
That's a good point. I think like some of the characters in Life is Strange just had those small things that they did that you maybe even didn't consciously pick up on, but it really added to the character. Like how Jefferson interacted with the class. Yeah. How Samuel was always like with the animals and stuff, like feeding the animals and stuff.
Feed the birds, yeah. Characters interacting with each other. You walk outside and there's Miss Grant talking to Samuel, just chatting about nature. You walk down the hall and there's Brooke having a dispute or having someone locked in her room because of bullshit or something.
Yeah, I mean the locked in a room thing we had to interact with that was part of the story, but yeah. But even stuff that wasn't part of the story that just it was there. It felt very real in that regard.
This is real life. Yeah, this is what's going on.
Because, like, real life, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but in real life,
there's a lot of stuff
people have their lives even if you're not there.
Yeah, stuff goes on, dude. It's true. It's damn true.
That wasn't as much the case in Life is Strange 2, really.
It didn't seem like it at all. Because also
everything that happened kind of hinged on Sean and or Daniel.
Yeah, Sean was in every scene. I think Daniel is kind of just the guy who was in there to make the whole theme work, which hasn't been too much of a thing, actually. The superpower, the Daniel superpower, is not that focused on.
To be fair, I think it's less about the power itself and more about the fact that he has it.
Yeah.
Because the whole conflict there comes from Daniel has powers, he's very happy about it, and Sean doesn't want anyone to find out because he's afraid that something will happen to Daniel.
Exactly.
Which is fair enough.
Also, the character,
it's very justified.
The character of Daniel is not very likable.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm questioning whether the character of Sean is likable at this point. And if not, then that's catastrophic.
Sean, at least for the most part, the stuff he does to Daniel that Daniel then ends up hating is mostly done for good reason.
No, not even because of that at all. I like how he's harsh to Daniel. Daniel deserves it for sure. He's a little shit. But Sean, the character himself, is hopefully not going the way of Finn, Cassidy, that sort of folk, and just being a bland character. I think because he's nowhere near on the level of Max even. in terms of like internal dialogue, in terms of because another thing that Life is Strange, the first game, had is that there was a lot of scenes where Max was just alone, looking at stuff, searching through stuff. Right? For Sean, that barely is the case.
I mean, there was some opportunities to do that. We went through the tents.
Some, yeah.
Almost every episode, we at least get one chance to look at our backpack and comment on every item in there.
We had the drawing stuff, the mini games, but sure.
I feel like Max also had the thing where, I mean, we've said it before, where it's like it's Chloe's story, it's not Max's story.
Yeah.
But Max went from like the very shy, nervous girl that she was in the beginning to being very much more confident at the end of the game.
Badass, exactly.
And part of that was because of her powers. Part of that was Chloe's influence.
Yeah.
And part of that was just the experiences she made in general.
Character and relationship development. And that's what this game is not doing.
I noticed it a lot when we played it the second time around.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we're starting to upload that on the channel now. The first episode's out by now. Max really, at the end of the game, is very different from Max at the beginning of the game.
That's true.
And that is something that so far I haven't really noticed with Sean.
No, not with Sean at all.
Now, granted, we are only halfway through the game, and I'm gonna reserve final judgment on the game, of course, till it's finished. But in the first episode, he doesn't act that differently from how he acts now, with the one difference being that he's now more focused on the whole survival thing, but it's not like he was like the perfect kid before. Like, if he had been like always by the rules, everything.
Yeah, he has not.
Completely straight edge, everything like that. Then
completely straight edge. I like that. Like Jacob.
No, but like,
man, a straight edge character.
If he had always been very much about following the rules, because he had the chance to steal from Esteban in like the first episode, and it's not like there is the money jar. We look at it and he's like, oh yeah, I could take this, but I'm not gonna because of a good kid.
We had literally had an opportunity to steal in every single episode.
Yeah, and like it would have made sense if maybe that could have been an interesting thing where it's like the character of Sean, if he started out differently, if he was very much always well behaved and doing everything by the rules, because then when you get into the conflict in the first episode where it's like we might have to steal to get through this, then there would be a conflict.
Yeah. But
the character of Sean from the get-go was set up in such a way that he wouldn't have much of a problem with it to begin with.
Yeah, exactly. Unlike Max, that's also cool because Max and Chloe are different characters, and Daniel just isn't in the position to be that same kind of counterpart to Sean as a character, and Sean's character isn't strong enough to carry that kind of.
Daniel, we've kind of seen develop a little bit in that regard, where he was a bit skeptical of us stealing and that kind of stuff in the beginning, but it basically went to like Sean being like, no, we have to, and then Daniel was like, okay. Yeah. And ever since he's behaved like that's the most.
And then it's like, yeah, well, we do whatever. We're the bad guys now. Basically, embraces that. So
that wasn't really as much gradual character development as it was just like
flipping a switch.
Like one time when it was brought up, and then that is resolved now.
Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden, bam! Now it's that way, and then a month-long break. All of a sudden, bam! Now we're besties with all these bums. So, final takeaway for me is wasted potential for sure. Writing not up to par, by far the worst game of Life is Strange we've had so far. We'll see the last 2 episodes, and this one, episode 3, it better be the low point. Like, this better be the worst of the bunch, because otherwise we're in for some catastrophic failure.
I mean, classical 5X storytelling tells me that this should have been the climax.
Yeah, and there was nothing climactic there at all.
But to be fair, I think if you're going by like 3 or 5X storytelling, that applies more to the episodes than the game. I'm not saying that it should have been the climax. I don't think episode 3 of Life is Strange was like very climactic. It wasn't. I don't remember which one.
Episode 4 did that for the most part, I believe, with the party.
So who knows? Maybe episode 4 picks it up, brings up some interesting conflicts, and
better pick it up.
You know, if the last 2 episodes are great, that might change a lot.
Yeah,
because Life is Strange, the entire franchise, it's not always been the greatest thing ever. Like as you said, like episode 4 was a bit of a slog.
Yeah, the other game has duds for sure.
So maybe this game just had a weak start, but
yeah, but it's about time to pick it up because it's honestly 3 out of 5 are done.
You know what's weird?
What?
I'm tempted to say that Captain Spirit was a better game so far than Life is Strange 2.
I wouldn't even mind. I mean, yeah.
And that
I wouldn't disagree with that strongly.
And that was one very short episode.
That was one episode, and that wasn't... I would have, like, right now I would have much rather have a game about Captain Spirit's life and stories than Daniel and
because
Sean.
The Captain Spirit game, like, in half was just kind of like kids' imagination, which wasn't the strongest selling point.
We get characters introduced, we get the father introduced, we get the neighbor
exactly.
introduced.
The character of the father was very well developed without him even being there that much.
Yeah.
A lot of that was just through Chris just giving exposition and looking at things.
Exactly, which is what Max did a lot.
By him overhearing conversation and that kind of stuff.
When we played Captain Spirit, we were hyped for Life is Strange 2.
Captain Spirit was actually pretty good.
It was pretty good. It was like, oh yeah, this game is gonna be up that level again. It's gonna be good. And right now, it's made a letdown.
The thing about like the drunk father and the dead mother and like the father coping with it, the son coping with it,
neighbors coming into the picture, and the superhero thing.
That dynamic was interesting, and the weird superhero thing, it was strange, but they made it work.
They did.
And so far, I'm not seeing that in Life is Strange 2.
No, it's not there. So, biggest takeaway from that, if you focus on characters to make them good, so far the characters have not been, and this episode has been the most blatant offense in that regard.
The most well-developed characters literally were the ones that came over from Captain Spirit.
Yeah.
And not because of the development they've had in episode 2, but because of the development from Captain Spirit.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, and they kind of used the Chris character as a throwaway that showed up for about an hour in the new game now, so that's like a side guy. So improvements there to be made for sure. I wouldn't mind if they went a radically different direction. If they stuck first of all to characters, if it's gonna be like Finn Cassidy and whatever, fine. Stick with them for the rest of the game and tell a fucking story with them and Daniel. I wouldn't mind them if they killed Sean off, to be honest. I wouldn't mind it at all if we took over as Daniel or whomever next episode, and then finish this game and finish it correctly. Don't create throwaway characters, because that's not what a game about characters is not there for you to create throwaways and then do it every episode and then never really. I
mean, there hasn't been any characters that I could think of in the Life is Strange franchise otherwise that were relevant to the plot, but also were completely underdeveloped, and then just kind of thrown away. Because, like, the whole thing about, like, the darkroom victims, the least developed one of those was Rachel, by virtue of her having literally never appeared, and she was a more well-thought-out character than some of the characters in Life is Strange 2 at that point.
Through Chloe's backstory.
Primarily,
and then they put the cherry on top with Before the Storm, which was excellent.
Yeah.
So
I still think it was the best game in the franchise.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, there's a lot to still be done with Life is Strange 2. Of course, I'm still looking forward to playing the 2 episodes, but man, something needs to change, because that episode was bad. It was legitimately bad, and I would like to hear counterpoints. So if you want to discuss that, comments are open to that. I know that not a very popular opinion on our side here. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people actually loved it, and love characters like Cassidy and Finn and the others, which I'm just not buying. It's not the Chloe effect for me at all. But let me know what you think. Drop a like on the video as well. If you've seen the first 3 episodes, maybe if you haven't, then maybe now we've piqued your interest, so you might want to have a look at those, and then come back here and then talk to us, or talk to us on our Discord. We can also talk about that on the Discord if you want to. We have a general or an off-topic channel is there on the server, which you can join and have some discussion about whatever. That's what we're there for. Link is in the description, by the way. If you're not a member of the Discord yet, you can go do that. It's completely free, and you can talk to us in the community. It's fun. Drop a like on the video, and we are getting out of here with the song of the week. After a long discussion, JJ, would you like to start us off to end this podcast?
I know you don't like this one, but I'm putting it anyways.
Do I not like it? Why? Is it Marie Laveau after all? Did you bamboozle me?
Wait, you don't like Marie Laveau, the song?
No, I do like the song, obviously. I thought you were like, oh, you don't like the fact that I picked this.
No.
Did you just pick a bad song?
No!
Well, then I probably would like it. Probably.
It's Omnos by Ilu... White? Yeah, I'm still not sure how to pronounce the band name.
Oh, that's not a good song. You just say you picked a good song. What happened?
It's a good song.
It's not a good song. I don't like it that much. It's
I know that you don't like it that much. That's what I said.
It's very dubious. I don't know. It's not. It's a character of a song. I don't like it. It's no. It's too much for me. Let me have a look at my list, and my song of the week is going to be, and this one has been a long time coming. I'm not even sure if I used this like a year and a half ago or something. You have to check that on the list at some point. It's Walk on Water by CCR. Complete throwback. Completely out of the loop. Walk on Water by Creedence Clearwater Revival.
I'm not sure if you've used it. I know we've used it in a video title once. Or
yes.
at least you suggested we use it. I'm not even sure if we ended up using it.
I don't think we did.
I think I actually ended up using something else for that.
Yeah, I don't think we did. But that's my song of the week. Very different. Your song not that good. I don't know. I go listen to both of them. Let us know which one you think is better. Hint, hint, obvious, right? But is JJ's song bearable? I don't think so. I believe I win the song of the week for this week.
There is no such thing as winning the song of the week.
I don't know. Isn't there? At some point, we let the viewers decide for all of our songs ever.
I mean, that wouldn't be even too hard to do. We could literally just set up a straw poll. If our podcast ever got like more than a handful of views, that might even be worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Get views on our podcast. So,
in theory, you would assume that that should get better.
Yeah.
Especially with, first of all, the channel of itself growing, and second of all, with getting more stuff on the podcast, getting more people on the podcast.
Yeah, it's been great. So the one with Sergey last week, and the one with Hollywood and Smokey the week before, which we are definitely going to repeat very soon. That was very fun to do. So look forward to more of that. If you're over from the other Trash Talkers side, there's going to be more of that, and I'm just as hyped about it as you probably are, and NJJ's too. I can speak for him there. Correct?
Yes.
Great. So let us know what you think. Drop a like, leave a comment, and we're going to see you in the next one. JJ.
That's it.
That's it.